The Suns and Mayans are going to war in Season 5 of the final raid. Who will win? We do not know yet, but we do know who won the ratings when it comes to Sons of Anarchy versus Mayans in the television battle. And that's what we're here to talk today about on Fog Entertainment.
Cannot wait to get into this. If you want to check out the highest rated episodes for both shows, go check out both vids. It was a real laugh. I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, it was really good. Now we're going to dive into the ratings for both shows, and we're going to compare them because there is definitely a lot to compare here. And I think one of the strangest things about both of these shows is that the premiere of the season 1 in both the Mayans and Sons of Anarchy did exactly the same with a 2.53 rating. It's not often you get that, but yeah, 2.53 million viewers checked out Sons of Anarchy season 1 and 2.53 million viewers checked out Mayans season 1 episode 1. So I mean, you could not ask for a better comparison there. I mean, complete parallel in the ratings, both shows kicking off with exactly the same amount of people watching it.
But let's be real, the Mayans getting the 2.53 I think's way more fabricated than the Sons one, and that's not me burying Mayans. I just feel like it's based off the Sons of Anarchy hype. All Sons of Anarchy had going into it. I mean, I guess you could argue Sons had way better actors, and therefore people would more likely tune into Sons to see like Charlie Hunnam and Ron Perlman, Kim Coates.
But the Sons of Anarchy universe doesn't even exist before episode 1.
Yeah, so it's far more impressive for Sons, but I'm just looking at both sides of the argument. But as well, with the premiere, episode 3, so we had Fun Town, of course, and Sons, that did a 2.10. Well, episode 3 of the Mayans also did a 2.10. So after the first 3 episodes, the ratings were pretty much similar. Episode 2 did a 2.20 seeds, while the Mayans did a 2.01. So, as you can see so far, we have got Mayans and Sons both in the 2s, but this would be the last ever time the Mayans would be in the 2s, unless Season 5 can, for some reason, come up with a miraculous and do something magical.
Now, what you do notice about the Sons ratings are, it does take them a while to gradually grow and consistently grow, and the Sons ratings, you know, they did flip-flop. I mean, they would do a good rating, then maybe in the next episode they would lose quite a bit of viewers. However, the Sons always kind of maintained their rating from week to week. You know, they would go down, but then they'd go back up. And eventually, as the seasons went on, Sons of Anarchy's ratings would grow. Whereas the Mayans did the exact opposite. They started out at their highest rating, and then episode by episode by episode, it just seemed to gradually fall, and they could never hit the heights of season 1. Now, by the end of Mayans MC season 1, we're doing a 1.31, which is almost, that's almost half of the original people that started watching the premiere. 1.31, 2.53. So yeah, almost half. But Sons of Anarchy, the finale in season 1, did a 2.48, which almost equaled the premiere. So what that tells me is the finale of Sons of Anarchy had almost the same amount of people stick around. They might have tuned out for some episodes in between, but when it came to the finale, the season 1 of Sons of Anarchy pretty much maintained its audience. It maintained people's interest in the show, and the Mayans did not do that. By the end of season 1, they'd lost almost half of their audience.
Yes, which is an absolute disaster for the Mayans. But if you look at the Sons throughout their show, basically what happened with the Sons, to describe it in layman's terms, so to speak, Sons' ratings constantly went up. The premiere got the most. They then constantly, went down and up throughout the season, and then the finale got the numbers back. And then whatever they gained for the previous season, they just carried it up until the finale of the show, which is exactly how a show should go.
Yep. So then we move into season 2, and again, like we said, Sons improving. Obviously, season 1, people liked it. Interest grew because the premiere in season 2 got 4.29 million viewers. So that's a massive increase on the premiere of season 1. We're talking, not about 1.8 million more.
Yeah, that's the
so that's a lot. Whereas Mayans season 2 premiered with 1.39, which is about 1.2 million less. So Sons' audience grew.
It was the 5th most viewed Mayans episode, though.
Yeah, so Sons of Anarchy's audience grew by about 1.8, and Mayans lost by about 1.2 from the season 1 premieres to the season 2 premieres. So if you're talking in terms of the gap, basically there was like a 3 million gap in terms of viewers in total.
Yeah.
So 1.8 Sons of Anarchy gained, 1.2 Mayans MC lost. And you can see by this point, I mean, one show is going upwards. I mean, the other show is going down. And the Mayans, from season 2 onwards, it just kept getting lower and lower and lower. Now, they did kind of maintain, after the initial premiere episode, it did drop off to a 1.06, and then it did kind of, it stuck around that, you know, they would gain a little bit, lose a little bit, but they maintained that 1.06 all the way through pretty much. They stayed above 1 million up until the final episode, where they dipped underneath 1 million viewers for the first time in the season 2 finale, and they got a 0.95. So you can see that just doesn't make a lot of sense. That's not good for Mayans. The finales tend to do better. People want to see what happens in the finale. It's the big episode. It's the episode where a lot happens, so to speak. You know, it's the episode that everyone promotes, everyone tunes into. You build up the first 9 episodes to get to the finale. So I think the fact that the finale is the lowest episode of the Mayans, to me, in season 2, this is a worry straight away, because it just shows you that season 2 hasn't been a good season. It hasn't kept people's interest. We've literally seen Chibs just 2 episodes ago in episode 8, yet the finale couldn't do more than 1 million.
Exactly, and the Mayans would continue this trend, and you know what? They actually hinked in season 2. The ratings weren't particularly awful, but then you probably would have thought they were awful, but now they look good.
Whereas, compare that to Sons season 2 finale, they did a 4.33, which was their highest rated episode of the season, which it should be. It was very, very close to the premiere, but it just beat the premiere by about 50,000 people. But that's what should happen. Your premiere and your finale, those 2 episodes should be the highest.
Absolutely.
Unless there's something crazy happening in the middle. Like you've got advertised like a massive actor or a massive like storyline, a massive reveal, something like that. I mean, the finale and the premiere should always be the 2 highest episodes of a season. So, again, Sons started off with a much higher rating, and they finished the finale with a higher rating, whereas the Mayans, their rating and the episode 1 dipped, and then by the time they got to the finale, I mean, it was under 1 million. So you can see here that the Sons is growing, and that the Mayans is certainly not growing.
Nope, the Mayans just going downtown. It is going down, and there's nothing stopping it. And even though we say that it got better after Suter left, do you think Suter leaving had a big impact on the show, or do you feel like it was inevitable that the ratings were just going to get this bit low? I honestly feel like with Suter, the ratings would... I think the show might have got... The way his direction, I think the show would have been way worse.
True, but I mean, Suter left after season 2. I mean, the guy, by the time season 2 ended, they'd lost over 1.5 million viewers.
True. We also had COVID, which didn't really help the Mayans, but... I mean, you can make as many excuses you want for the Mayans. The ratings just aren't good enough. There's nothing they could do. They will not get back above 1 million in the finale.
We're not going to go through season by season, and it would be too... You can't really do that anyway, because Sons of Anarchy was a 7-season series, whereas Mayans is 5, so you can't like outright compare each season by season, but you definitely can compare the opening season, and you can compare the second season, because that obviously comes over, and that's a good... estimation of like how many viewers they managed to hold on to or how many they lost. So you compare the first 2 seasons, Sons of Anarchy has grown, the Mayans has not grown. You look at the Sons of Anarchy, by the time it got to its 7th season, the final season, it did the highest premiere by far. It did a 6.2 million, which, I mean, the fact it's getting to the end of the show and it's getting its highest rating, I mean, that just proves that the show's good, that more people are checking out the show, that the show is maintaining people's interest in the show, and that is what you want. I mean, you look at every single good show that has ever happened, the rating should not be dropping towards the end. When you get to the conclusion, when you get towards the end of the story, if people are tuning out and they're not caring about what happens at the end, then you know you've got a problem.
Exactly, and the Mayans has got a serious problem, but with Sons... If I recall correctly, out of the last 5 episodes, the top 5 episodes of the show, I believe all of them were in season 7, bar 1. So it just goes to show you that the ratings were absolutely insane. And the Mayans, if I was to make a prediction about the Mayans for their series finale, I think there will be a decent sized jump, but I don't think it will be massive.
Will it go over 1 million?
No, I don't think it will.
So yeah, even Sons last season kicks off 6.2, and yeah, I mean, after that, some of the ratings do drop. Some of the episodes do go into the 4s. We even got a couple of episodes that go into the 3s. But by the time we get to the finale, it brings in a 6.4, which again beats the opener of season 7 and is the highest rated episode of the entire series. And that's how it should be. The last episode should be the highest rated. I mean, you look at Breaking Bad, ratings grew every single year, and then in the final season, and like literally every episode in the second half of the season got higher and higher and higher. Whereas Mayans, every episode tends to get lower, lower, and lower. By the start of Mayans MC season 5, we're at 0.56, and we've lost 80%, almost 80% of the viewers from the opening season 1.
To put it into perspective, I mean, Sons' series finale, if you look at the lowest episode from season 7, it was, in fact, a 3.88, which was episode 9. So 4 episodes later, they did a 6.4, which is an increase of, 2.62? So 2.62 from the lowest episode in season 7 to the highest, which is the finale. So that means that's a pretty big increase. That is like a 50% run about that region. What could if the Mayans, what are you thinking the Mayans is going to do?
The finale?
I'm going to go, I think they'll struggle to do it, but it'd do a 0.75. I would struggle.
Yeah, I don't see it being much more than that. It depends. I mean, look, if season 5's good, then people might check out the finale. I've got a feeling if season 5's bad, the finale could be one of the lowest rated episodes.
Yep. I mean, they've hyped Tig, they've hyped Chibs, and the ratings not exactly going through the roof, especially for Tig's case. But again, like, the ratings were already at the floor, guys, so they be expected. But what you know for this is, Sons is just a superior show, and most of the time ratings don't lie, especially when you're on the same network.
Yeah, same network, FX. So you can't even say that one of these shows has, you know, a better network. They have more people watching. They're in more people's homes. You can't even use that argument. What I will say about Mayans is they seem to be following a trend that it's basically a sequel of a show, and initially they've captured those fans. They've managed to gain those fans. The fans of the previous show have checked it out. But just like the other sequels that we've seen, such as Fear the Walking Dead, such as Better Call Saul, they've just not been anywhere near as good as the original shows, and the ratings have dipped.
And that is it, guys. The ratings have dipped big time. Will a show buck the trend? I don't see it happening. I feel like if a show was truly great to begin with, the sequel just will never be better. It would take something monumental for it to be better. Because I just feel like with Sons, it was so great. Even if Mayans was written to an inch of perfection of what they had in front of them, I don't see how it could have been better. It would have took so much. Maybe you could say, because it's only 5 seasons, you could have condensed a lot more. But I mean, like, you still get your fillers. I can guarantee you, if it focused way more on club stuff the first 2 seasons, none of this Adelita, Emily stuff, I think the ratings would be higher. I would guarantee it.
I think in shows, once you lose the audience, it's very rare you get them back.
Yep. No, exactly. That's it. Because, I mean, if we say Sons lost all of their 2.53, but they gained, you're hardly you can't build on it. It's like, no, new people that watch the show are coming in, have learned about it, but see with the Mayans, I feel like it's always got the problem of, I'm not going to watch the Mayans because I feel like you need to watch Sons. I feel like people would think like that.
I feel like
if you didn't watch Sons, they're going to be like, well, why am I going to watch Mayans? Because I didn't get into Sons and Mayans looks a lot worse. That's got a big issue for people. But what do you guys think? Leave it down in the comment section below. But Sons has smoked the Mayans, and guess what, guys? The Mayans. God damn it, man. Those little beaners.
Call in a fucking charter, how about you call in some ratings?
Call in the TV crew.
Aye.
Call in Kurt Sutter. And you know what? This has damaged the first 9. First 9's out the window.
Yeah, that's another thing. Because Sons of Anarchy was popular, and obviously the series growed from the premiere right to the end, the finale. I mean, we did see an increase in popularity. So I think that led to Mayans MC. Let's say, for example, because both Sons and both Mayans kicked off with the exact same premiere rating, right? So let's say Sons didn't exist. Let's say that the Mayans is the first show here. There is no Sons of Anarchy, right? And the Mayans is the first show. First of all, it wouldn't got a 2.35 million.
No, nowhere near.
But let's just say it did. Let's say it did, and let's say these ratings, right, played out the exact same way. Are you telling me a Sons of Anarchy sequel is going to get green lit based off the back of these season 5 ratings, a 0.56 and a 0.42.
Not a hope in hell.
So yeah, no, I do believe Mayans MC has damaged a potential sequel just due to the low ratings and the fact that there's just not much of a appetite for it. Now, who knows? I mean, maybe if Kurt Sutter is running it, maybe him and FX can come up with something. I don't know. I know him and Disney have kind of fallen out at the moment, and it's a bit tricky who owns what at the moment, so we don't really know if Kurt Sutter has the possibility of even doing a sequel and what kind of permission and stuff like that he needs to get. But yeah, right now, I don't know. I don't think it's looking very good.
No, it's not looking very good, guys, but that's where we're going to end this video. We'll probably be back at the end of the Mayans to properly compare the final seasons. But again, I mean, imagine the Mayans turned it around and produced like a 7 million rated episode.
I don't see how that happens.
No, I don't see how. I don't know what could happen. Honestly, I don't see what they could do. Even if they went Jackson Clare coming back,
maybe if they
flashback.
Maybe if they offered a free burrito for every person that tuned in.
Look at Better Call Saul. They brought back. That was good, but they brought back Walt, Jesse, and what happened? The ratings didn't fucking go up. I mean, and you knew you were getting them.
The show's shit though. Let's be honest. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. It does not matter. TV shows are different.
It's like wrestling. I mean, you can advertise The Rock and Austin. It sucks.
Exactly. And that's us. That's us done, man. That's us signing out. The ratings. Suns is better, and we knew it, and they're going to win the war as well. Mayans are getting wiped out. Easy's going to get a TV crew rammed up his ass, but till then, peace.